see if that other piece of shit, that thing works. But hell, it doesn't matter. We're this is gonna record and I'm gonna push it out. So, dude, however you need to move it. You good?
You want me right here? Or
however, if you're good, are you comfortable?
I'm great. Yeah.
All right, guys. This is Frank, and I'm here with Rodney Wells, and this is for the old breed. And I wanted to bring out Rodney Wells in here because he's he's a jiu-jitsu guy, just like all the other guys that I've been bringing in. There you go. So thank you for coming in, man. I appreciate it, especially at this time. I know it's kind of hectic.
Yeah.
So I just want to start out. Just tell us about Rodney.
Yeah. So originally from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised, wrestler by heart. Grew up on the east side of Cleveland, and then moved to the west side. But honestly, if it wasn't for the grappling arts or just jiu-jitsu period, I don't know what would be going on.
So when did you start doing jiu-jitsu?
I started jiu-jitsu after high school. So after high school, me and the guys were kind of like, we're wrestlers.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Yeah.
if you're not a high-level wrestler, it's not like there's another platform for you besides college,
Yeah.
So we were just messing around. You had a couple guys doing Krav Maga, and some other grappling sports, and kung fu and boxing. So we were all like messing around. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not really, no one being a master at it. We were just kind of just training.
There's so many wrestlers coming out of just those are my roots too, man. Wrestling and then just right into jiu-jitsu. It just fit perfect. Right?
Yeah, it's awesome. But we didn't have a gym, so in college we were just, after high school I went to college, and we were just training.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason, just training.
Yeah.
And then after I got done with college, I went back home, and my old wrestling coach was like, "Hey, Rod, what are you doing? Like, you need to get your stuff together. Like, come train with me."
Yeah.
And I thought we were gonna do wrestling.
Yeah.
I meet up with him at this gym, and he's like, "Yeah, throw in this gi." I'm like, "I brought shorts."
Yeah.
So takes me into the room. It's like 5 other guys, blue belts and white belts, and we're just rolling.
Yeah.
And I'm getting choked out, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not like the top dog. I'm not dying, but I'm holding my own. You know what I mean? So it was really exciting. So after that, I'm like, "Hey, man, I need more of this. Like, this is."
Yeah, dude, you look like you're super strong, man.
Average,
Nah,
a little.
You look like you're country strong. Don't lie to me, man.
Yeah, but
don't
so
lie to me.
What's so crazy? It's like technique. When they say trust the technique because it'll help with leverage and strength.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
but you still have to have strength too.
I agree.
Yeah, but after that, I was hooked. So in 2012, officially, that's when my jiu-jitsu journey started. Yeah.
So, who do you train under?
I trained under Roberto Travin, and then at Chambly with Kun Lao.
Kun Lao, Team Octopus.
Team Octopus. So it's awesome. I mean, originally I started off with Gracie Baja lineage, Jose Diaz, also known as Professor Z, who's Carlos Gracie Jr. Promoted him to black belt a while ago. In 2012, that's who I was under. So it was like Gracie Baja, self-defense. And then I moved here to Atlanta.
So did you start training with Elijah at Team Octopus right around the same time?
Yeah. So when I moved here in, I think, 2015, Elijah was just starting out. I think we were all blue around the same time.
Blue belts, okay.
Yeah. So
you're a purple belt now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's when everybody was here. Man, it's been a long time, man. Yeah. It's been a long time. It feels like forever.
Yeah. And now, what do you do for work, man?
For work, I'm an engineer.
Really?
Yeah. So I do product designs for retail clients, making sure that the product's safe and doesn't kill anybody.
That's what I was telling Humberto, man. It's so interesting with jiu-jitsu because you meet so many different people that do different things. It's really amazing,
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think?
I think it's awesome, man, because you get to, like, mats don't lie. If you're an asshole on the mat, you're just
exactly
an asshole in
Yep.
life and stuff.
Yep,
so
yep.
it's like hey, you're gonna meet different people from different backgrounds, different walks of life, and at the end of the day, we're just rolling. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
We don't take all the political stuff on the mats.
Exactly.
We're just all trying to get better, trying to improve, and trying to just improve our game. You know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I kind of put the bug in Elijah, and Elijah just kind of went with it, and he's just taken his jiu-jitsu to a whole different level that I would have never dreamed of,
Yeah.
you know. But I did it a lot in the Army, and it was called like Army Combatives, and I got back into it because of Brent and Humberto, you know, and just seeing Elijah progress and just being around the community, I was like, man, this kind of like reminds me of like my time in the Army.
Yeah.
Because that's what, man, I loved about being in the Army. It's like everything was just based on like a teamwork type mentality. It didn't matter what you were, what you looked like, you know. And I just saw like that same humility in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community. I saw that, and I was like, man, I really like it.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I mean, as men, we need that camaraderie.
Yeah,
you know,
I
we
think
need
so,
that sense of togetherness and an outlet to let go of like shit that's bugging us through the day.
Yeah.
Like I know times when I don't train, I'm easily angered.
Yeah.
Versus times when I do train,
Yeah.
I'm more of a calm, relaxed individual. Like I'll let some stuff go.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I think as men, we have that aggression, and there's got to be a way for us to kind of get rid of that, you know. And that's why I think jiu-jitsu is so good, because you do it afterwards, you're beat, you're like, yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, and it's a full body workout. It's not like I'm just working my arms, working my legs. No, it's a legit full body workout.
Yep. So as we were talking about earlier, man, I think this is a great time for us to, promote the sport. And this podcast is really for like men's issues, but I mean, listen, anybody's welcome to it. But I want us, especially the minorities. I mean, why do you think, if you were to, let's say, talk to a young black man about doing jiu-jitsu, what would you tell them? I mean, as far as like why they should do it.
Number one, I think there's an aspect of discipline that all young men need, regardless of race or background.
Yep.
And being able to humble oneself is key. And molding someone to be a good human being.
Yes.
I think nowadays, I don't want to sound like an old geezer, but these kids don't know how to be humble and don't know how to. I mean, they're too prideful, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't know how to respect authority.
Yeah.
Their fathers, uncles, or principal.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So I think jiu-jitsu adds that aspect of humility.
Mm-hmm.
What do they say? Leave your ego on the mat.
That's right.
You know, if you get tapped, it's okay. You'll learn from that.
Yeah.
And the other aspect is struggle. I mean, when you're struggling on the mats in a submission, when you're trying to figure out a way out, that thought process, thinking about how to get out, that's a metaphor for life. Life isn't always going to be easy. You're going to have to work out of some situations that you're uncomfortable in to advance. And I think that helps. I mean, that helped me. It helped me. So, I mean, I think that's something definitely that it's a benefit for African-American young men growing up. And that's something I would encourage them to do for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, man. So instead of joining a gang, man, join your local jiu-jitsu school where you can be mentored by somebody older that can teach you. If you don't have a father, we have a problem in the minorities here in the States is, young black men turning into crime, young Hispanic joining gangs and violence and all that stuff, to where they could easily take all that pent up rage, go to a good jiu-jitsu school, a reputable jiu-jitsu school, and get those, like you said, those life learning things that you need to learn as a young man, man.
I mean, it's both sides too, like, because you want people to do jiu-jitsu, but then you realize that it's a business too. And
definitely.
I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. Jiu-jitsu is expensive.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of gyms that are like the value meal version of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So the average going rate is about 125.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
and for some people coming from certain backgrounds, that may be too much to chew.
Yeah.
I mean, the average boxing school when I was growing up, which was the first outlet for my group, the people that I was around, was $50 a month. But you know, as times change, as you know, the price of doing business goes up, so does some of the fees associated with that. So if there was a way to help at-risk youth in general with programs to decrease some of that fee, I think more minorities would join.
Dude, you hit that right in the head, Rodney, because I've been doing it for 20 years and I just got my blue belt.
Yeah.
When I started jiu-jitsu in like the 90s, that was my problem. I had 2 kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it was 130 at Alliance Jiu-Jitsu. It might have been a little lower, but for me at that time, I was like, man, there's no way I can afford that. You know, and then once I became a dad, and then Elijah got a little older, and I could afford it, I was like, dude, you're gonna start doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, so as I told Humberto yesterday, man, it's like, dude, I totally feel like, so even with what's going on right now with the COVID-19, you know, the government gave out a bunch of these loans to all these people. You know, there was Harvard got, I think they got like $8 million.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be for small businesses, and you're like, well, what are the numbers of small businesses that actually got it? And you're like, well, is that really a small business? And you're like looking into it. So I don't have the numbers, so I can't really talk about it.
Dude, it's ridiculous. The LA Lakers,
man.
The LA Lakers got money. It's like, listen, I take $8 million, I put it into our community. Let's say Georgia. Let's say I put $1 million into that community, and I'm like, okay, with that $1 million, I want to get inner city kids to go to a school, and we will pay for it for, let's say, 1 year.
Yeah.
Imagine what we could do with $1 million, Rodney.
Yeah. We can do it.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I mean, it's like we were talking with Humberto, you know, and I was like, dude, I'm not trying to get political, but I mean, I see it too. I mean, I'm a small business owner, and I'm like, you know, like, what's going on with our government, man? It's like the government. How do the LA Lakers get 50? I think they got like 50-something million dollars, man.
Man, at the end of the day, you have to figure out how to beat the system at its own game, and if you don't navigate and work it the way that those people know how to, it's always going to be one step behind for the little guy. And it sucks because the loopholes that certain entities and organizations know how to navigate through, they're like, oh no, we'll just pay our high grade lawyer to work the system and we're in there.
Yeah.
Millions in the bank. But for guys like us who don't have those certain connections, and they're like, well, I just filled out the application and told me I was denied.
Man, honestly, man, I think it's just our politicians, man.
Yeah.
Like they're, you know, it's like, it's the same thing with you know, that's how I feel about it. Like I said, as a small business owner, it's like a politician is trying to tell me how to run my business. It's like, has that politician ever had a business? Probably not. But he's telling me.
Yeah.
He's telling me, and he's telling you how they need to do things. It's like, and you know how, listen, and I'm not going to talk bad about all politicians, but I mean, you see it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You see it. So all I want to do, man, and why I started this podcast, as I was telling you earlier, is I look at all this stuff on the internet and I see all this stuff that's supposed to help young men, and these guys that are doing all this stuff, I'm like, these guys are full of shit too.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to people like yourself. Like, I mean, you're an engineer. I'm sure nobody gave that to you. I mean, you had to work. You had to work your ass off, right?
Yeah. I had to work nonstop. You know, worked at Family Dollars for 5 years through working through college. Did part-time because I, you know, couldn't take classes while I worked. You know, life is a struggle. But at the end of the day, if you're willing to go through the struggle to get better, figure out the counter to the submission, then you're able to excel and level up. And that, you know, bringing it back to jiu-jitsu, getting comfortable in uncomfortable positions.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's not always bad. I mean, the lights they got that choke in deep and the lights are going out. You got to remember and trust the technique.
Yeah.
You know, and remember like, hey, it's only part of it. There's a lot at the end of the tunnel if I can figure out how to get past this situation, get past this roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for? Because you're still pretty relatively young. Are you looking to be a world champion? Is that what you want?
I think at the end of the day, I still got some juice in the tank.
You definitely have some juice in the tank.
I can definitely take it to that next level. Just trying to figure out how to manage that with real life, you know?
Yeah.
It's not always just, you know, it's very rare that someone can just have the balls and gusto to just put it all out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to sacrifice everything and say, hey, this is my time, this is my moment. Fuck everything else, I'm going for it.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I'm trying to figure out how to do that responsibly.
I got you,
know,
man.
and it's crazy. If I was like, if I can go back and tell my younger self, if this me could tell my younger self, to risk it all and go for it, I would have done it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, I think it's our responsibility now,
Yeah.
being that we're older. It's like, man, we got to try to pass it down. You know, you see all the stuff in the news. You know that stuff that just happened here with the GBI, how that young black man was shot, and it's like, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to get political, but man, that I don't care whether that kid did something wrong or not. They shouldn't have shot the kid, man.
Right.
Like, the kid lost his life, because I know that some video came out that he was in whatever inside of the construction site. What is the name of this young man that was killed? Can you tell?
Ahmaud. So trespassing is not a death sentence.
No.
And it should never be a death sentence.
Absolutely not.
And we need to understand, human beings, that we need to value life a little bit more.
Yes.
I think everyone's desensitized to just the average life of an individual, let alone a minority.
Yeah.
You know, some people, when you look at how things are tried in courts for minorities versus others, it's lopsided.
Mm-hmm.
System's fucked.
Yes.
You know, so we need to go back and fix it. You know, as citizens, it's our right to fix the broken system. And we just can't do that sitting on our couch. We can't do that just making a Facebook post. We have to be active.
Yes.
You know, we have to be active in voting. We have to be active in making the change and being the change.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so like I said, man, that's why I'm doing this podcast, is because that's what I want. I want those young men. They're out there, man. They're all out. They're looking for these podcasts, and look, I'm the same way. I'm just older, so it's like, all right, I want to better myself as a man.
Yeah.
So I listen to all these like red pill, whatever manosphere type stuff, and I'm like, these guys are completely full of shit. But I'm old enough to recognize it, man. But some young 19-year-old is like, oh, these guys are telling you the truth. It's like, no, these guys are lying to you. Don't listen to that crap.
It's
you know?
so crazy. There's so much crazy stuff out there, and you know, you have to figure out how to censor all that stuff, because some of it's garbage, like you said, you know. And some people aren't keeping it real. They're just spitting out BS.
Yeah.
You know? And it's important for you to like continue what you're doing and getting people out here to speak about, you know, how they feel about certain situations, because at the end of the day, people realize what's real.
Exactly.
They may stumble here and there, click some fake links, and then eventually come to the realization that, hey man, that was some BS, but what you got here is real.
But do you think that jiu-jitsu's changed your life, or what?
I would say jiu-jitsu definitely changed my life, man. You gotta understand, like, at some point, you look at your life and you're like, what's next? You know, after I was done with college, I didn't know what to do next. It was like, I'm still alive, you know, I made it, I don't have any kids, I don't have any baby mamas. My black credit score was high.
That's good, man.
You know, I was
good.
like, I made it. I don't, what else is there for me to do? I got a job, but jiu-jitsu helped me upgrade my level. It's like, well, you can always do better.
Yes.
You know, you can always advance. Like they say, a black belt is just a white belt that never gave up.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You have to always have that mentality. You got to, like, have to keep your mind open to learning new stuff. And at that stage in my life, my mind was closed off. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm.
Listen, man. So, what I was telling these other guys, Humberto and Brent, is like you see a lot, like Joe Rogan and Jocko Willink and all these famous guys. Hey, man, awesome, great. You guys are famous and all that.
Yeah.
People follow you, but I want to push it. I want people to know, people like ourselves, like just regular guys that are actually, we're doing something with our lives and we're not famous. We have a story to tell too. And man, dude, you yourself, you could be such a, and I'm sure you are already, but just letting people know that you are a positive person, that you are doing something with your life, and somebody can look up to Rodney and be like, man, I want to be like Rodney.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's so important for us to have these type of podcasts. And like I said, that was the reason why I started this podcast, is because, I didn't have a father growing up, but I joined the Army, and to me, the Army was my father.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of tough love. So I don't have I'm not an excuse guy. I don't like to make excuses.
Yeah.
And I tried to push that to my son and to my daughter, that you got to work hard in life, but they had mentors. But what about somebody, let's say somebody your age that's never had a mentor, that's been in and out of jail? What are we going to do about those people? How can we help those people out, Rodney?
Yeah. I mean, that's $1 million question, right, man? It's $1 million question. It's like, you have a lot of people that come from different backgrounds in life, and they're still struggling to find that way out or that answer. And I think what you're doing is getting people the real, getting people to see, like, guys like you and me, regular Joes out here that figured it out.
Yeah, and we exist.
And we exist.
Yeah.
So that narrative right there is like, hey, just me being on this podcast, like, I had a dad, until my mom and dad got divorced.
Yeah.
Up until 12. He used to punch me in the chest when I did something stupid. Tell me that nothing is given, everything is earned.
Yeah.
Those type of life lessons. Not everybody has that. But if we are able to help someone out and provide them with some guidance on what they can do to better their situation, man, we're here. I mean, like, we are here. Like, we're live. We can do this.
No, we're so used to the media and the negativity, and it's like, man, my perspective is so totally different because, man, when I was in the Army, there's no color in the Army, man. Like, my brother, he was a former Marine that joined the Army. He's a black guy, and dude, I love that guy like a brother. And I see the same thing in the jiu-jitsu community that I saw in the Army, man. It's like, it doesn't matter what color you are. It's like that respect is there because you guys are doing it on the mat all the time. You're sweating,
right.
Right. And then at the end of the day, hey, man, it's all good, man.
Yeah,
so if your buddy choked you out, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, you can take it. And I think that's what's so important. That's what's so beautiful about jiu-jitsu, man, is that same humility that I saw in the Army, I see that same humility in the jiu-jitsu world. And I think that's why a lot of veterans, and not even just veterans, I think it takes a special type of person to be in this community.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I agree 100% because it's a respect level on all aspects, regardless of what your nationality, belief system is, orientation. It's a respect thing. And when you get on that mat, all that goes away, And it's crazy. People don't understand, like, it's just like that.
Yep.
You can be in a good spot, you can be in a bad spot, you can not know what the hell you're doing, but the respect is there. Being able to humble yourself and say, you got me.
Yep.
I got you next time. I'm going to work on that move and I'm going to get you.
Yep.
It may not start off that way all the time. You may still have some animosity towards a person that was smaller than you and tapped you out, but eventually you gain respect for that individual.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, I'm gonna get a gun and shoot this guy because
man,
that's crazy.
That's what I was telling Humberto, man. Is I go out sometimes and I'll see guys getting into fights, and first of all, most of them don't know what the hell they're doing.
Oh no.
It's like it's embarrassing, man.
The ready stance is just loose, like
or all the videos that we see on like the internet, man. It's like these guys don't know what they're doing. You get a guy that's been doing jiu-jitsu, man. Hell, dude, I go out. I mean, that's the last thing I'm thinking about.
Right.
And if somebody, were to start something with me, dude, I'll be. And I'm sure, like most people, most jiu-jitsu guys, they'll be the first person to be like, dude, just like relax, man. We're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, is it really worth it, man? Is it worth you going to jail?
No.
Huh? Is it worth you getting your head bashed in by somebody or a bottle to the head?
And it's so crazy. Like when you train, you don't get into more fights. You get into less fights.
Exactly.
It's so it's like your mentality changes.
Yeah.
So I wish everybody trained. Shit. The world would be a better place.
Yeah.
So
what do you think about this whole COVID thing, man? Like, what's going on? I'm sure you're not training as much or at all, right?
No bullshit, right? This is no bullshit podcast.
Listen, man, if you don't have the Rona, I know I don't have the Rona. I mean, we could roll; it would be fine, right?
So, I have been training with a small group.
Oh, there you go.
Since all this went down. Me and the guys, the 4 guys that I train with, have been tested, and we just make sure that we don't do anything crazy. As far as outside of training. So we're not out here kicking it, going to the club, going to the bars, hanging out. We're still maintaining social distancing, but when it comes to rolling, we're getting in.
So. All right, so because we are keeping it real, I mean, listen, this is America. There's plenty of jiu-jitsu guys that are doing this underground because they don't want to stop training.
Right.
I mean, dude, I'm not.
If I'm at home, my own house with my guys, and we're training in the garage, you can't tell me I can't do that.
Exactly.
And we've all been safe and tested previously, and it's like, come on, we're free to do that.
Yeah, but what about the fact that jiu-jitsu guys we're more self-aware with like keeping your nails trimmed, make sure you don't walk on the mat, you're washing your hands. And we did this before the COVID-19,
Yeah.
So it's like, I almost think it's like, I'm not saying that we're more immune, but we're healthier. So I don't know if you looked at the statistics for Georgia, but statistically speaking, most of the people that are getting this COVID-19, they're 65 and over. And if they're younger, they have underlying conditions.
I think the whole thing is we still don't know what's truly happening. There's a lot of cases where you have now. I don't have the facts on this. I don't have the data, but there are some cases where you have hospitals padding the numbers.
Yes, man.
If you're saying, "Oh, this person died from COVID, but they were at stage 3 for cancer," like, come on, like, what are we talking about? Like, or a gunshot victim, and then you tag it as COVID.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, what are we doing right now?
I definitely believe, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, Rodney, but I definitely believe that numbers they're messing with the numbers because basically the insurance companies, or I believe the hospitals, are actually getting more money by saying that somebody died of COVID-19. Yeah. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I saw the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and he was saying, something's not right. And the reason why he knows this is because he's got 7,000 workers in China. None of them have died. None of them have any symptoms. You know what I'm saying? So am I saying that nobody's getting the COVID? Absolutely not. But if you have underlying conditions, right? Listen, we should take all measures. But guys like yourself, dude, you're a healthy guy.
Right. But we still have to think about, like, I think what happens is when you always inspect something and you're looking at something, you're going to see some shit you never saw before.
Yeah.
We never really took a look at mortality with a fine-tooth comb and put the magnifying glass on it to really observe what was going on for other cases of illnesses.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I never woke up in the morning for any other case and was like, let me track how many people died today.
Exactly.
Like,
dude, but you're an engineer. You're an engineer, so you hit it right on the head.
I don't wake up on my average day 5 years ago and say, I wonder how many people have died across the United States and died across the country.
Yeah. So listen, guys. So
we don't have anything to compare it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on.
But we're so right now what we're doing, guys, is it's a podcast and we're basically doing bro science. But at the same time, we're being we're being pragmatic.
Yeah.
Rodney's is an engineer, so he's a pragmatic thinker. I think the same way too. It's like, well, if you were to track everybody that's dying of, let's say, heart attacks or cancer on a daily basis, we would be like, holy shit, there's a lot of people dying. Well, there's a lot of people dying every single day. Right?
I'm just saying, it's something to take into account. I'm not saying that.
Yes.
I'm not saying that COVID isn't real. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying think about it. Think about what's going on a holistic scale compared to what's happening in other countries. Like, we just need to think more about it, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody's risk level is different. I made a personal choice to still train.
Yeah.
That's my personal choice. I can do that. And I think everybody should be able to make that assessment based on their situation.
I mean, I thought we lived in America, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the problem. I think as Americans, I think what bothers us is it's like it goes against our Constitution. It's like I should be able to be like, all right, if I want to take the risk, I should be able to do so. And dude, listen, we should still be doing the social distancing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I got my mask here.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
When I go outside or go to the store, I'm still wearing my mask. Shout out to moms for hooking me up with the Black Panther.
Listen, what breaks my heart, man, is that there's just like people that are like literally going out of business that can't pay their bills, and the government is telling them, well, you got to stay in your house. It's like, okay, great, they got to stay in their house, but they have to pay their bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to pay their bills. Like people in the restaurant, dude, decimated. People have no work. You know, I know did you hear about California? They want to keep them for like another 3 months.
No, yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Like the economy is going to be royally screwed after this.
Yeah, like, so it's like you give me $1,200. I mean, what am I going to do with $1,200, man?
Like, this is the whole thing. Like, everybody's still like thinking about now.
Yeah.
But the wave is going to happen later when all these fucking loan sharks come back and say, hey, this shit's over with. Where's my fucking money? Give me your business.
Yeah.
You got like, there's a lot of stuff that we need to be prepared for when these small businesses go out of business and you have bigger corporations or bigger entities that have the cash flow that's able to basically acquire all this wealth from what? From a fucked up situation.
No, listen, man, there's definitely a lot of big businesses that are profiting off of all this, man. Yeah. I just, like I said, dude, I don't even know, man. Like, I went to Atlanta last weekend, and it's just bizarre, man. It's like
traffic's amazing, though.
Oh yeah, I know. It definitely is, dude. I get like 5-star treatment. I like the Outback.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get like 3 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
And listen, I can't complain, man. Like I said, I think I've probably done better because of this whole COVID thing.
I mean, I saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing anything reckless.
Yeah.
With cash flow. I'm holding on to every penny I have. Because you don't know. I mean.
But you're still working though, right?
Yeah, I'm still working from home. By the grace of God, I'm still employed. But next week they can call me and say, hey, Rod, we don't need you anymore. So I'm still blessed to be in a good situation. But not everybody has that right now,
All right, so let's get back on track.
Yeah.
And because we are talking about jiu-jitsu, I want you to talk about who do you train under right now?
Right now, I train under Team Roberto Traven and Kung Lao at Chambly. And
so is that where you're there most of the time, in Chambly?
Yeah, I'm in Chambly. So Team Octopus has a lot of locations, but all the jiu-jitsu is under Roberto Traven. I can go to any location, train. Doesn't matter. We're pretty open to, cross-training between other locations and other gyms. But I get everything I need from Team Octopus. Yeah,
because I've seen you in Atlanta. And guys, it's raining. And I have a tin roof. So, hey, forgive me. I may have to make an adjustment for the next podcast, but it's raining right now, and you can hear the rain coming because it's hitting the tin roof. So, yeah, dude, I've seen you in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I know Elijah, he loves going to Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, like, we train everywhere. Like, if someone's like, Rob, we're training at ATT, they got some no-gi work, I'm there. because I'm always looking for that next challenge. I'm always looking to better myself. So I'm not really like the jiu-jitsu politics. Like I said, I don't play around with that stuff.
Tell us about that. What do you mean the jiu-jitsu politics?
Yeah, so you have certain, it's like telenovelas, soap operas.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know, everyone's got their issue. Well, he was talking to my girl, or you know,
Damn, okay.
he left our gym.
Yeah.
You know, well, he's actually still with us, but he trains over there. We don't allow. You know, we got top secret moves.
Yeah.
You know, so that stuff messes up what true jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah.
You know, that warrior's mentality of, you know, iron sharpening iron, and everyone's just here to get better. I mean, I stole the saying from Coach Chris, like, slap hands, let's get better together, bro. Like, because at the end of the day, that's what this sport should be about. It should be about making sure that we're all getting stronger and able to defend ourselves at any point in time, you know? So as far as jiu-jitsu politics, like, I try not to get into it, you know? I'll go to anyone's open mat, train, you know, and then leave and go home.
I know Elijah tells me about it, man. I don't really know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just really got back into it like 8 months ago, and as a matter of fact, I just got my blue belt because I wanted to like go to one school.
Yeah.
And you know, just be able to earn it. So I am right now.
Congrats on that, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. But I really, honestly, like I said, I just love to. Me, honestly, at my age, I'm 47, so I'm like I'm way over the hill. But I like it because I want to get people into it. So I enjoy it. I actually love to train with like white belts and kind of try to. Because you know how white belts are, man. It's fucking dangerous, man. Dangerous. Yeah. Like, I've got so many injuries from white belts, and I talked to Elijah about it.
They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, man. They're rough, man. And sometimes they'll fucking, like, pick me up and, like, slam me on the ground. I'm like, dude, like...
I saw this on TV. Like, this...
Exactly. And, you know, it's like you got to try to get them to focus on, like, more technique. But, I mean, either way, I want them to find that, like, dude, I have this student at my school. He used to be like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And now he's addicted to it. And he's lost like 50 pounds already.
Man, the health benefits are, like, amazing. And it's proven. Like, there's more cases like that where people have stuck with jiu-jitsu and lost massive amounts of weight.
Now, what about your wife, though? Have you tried to get your wife into jiu-jitsu or no?
Man, so, disclaimer, hope this doesn't get me in trouble. No. But, yeah, man, so my wife, when I was a white belt, came to every last one of my matches. Every last one. And that's probably why I married her. But when I talked to her about training, she's like, no, that's your thing. And I had to come to understand, like, yeah, this is my thing.
Yeah.
You know? She doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she gives me my space, I give her space when it comes to like those things.
Yeah.
We both, you know, I want to support her in what she does. She supports me in what I do, but she's not gonna.
She's not doing it. No. I feel you. I just always think about it for like as far as like, you know, the self-defense aspect. I think it's so good for women because I see these things on like Facebook where like women are hitting like bags and they got like these tiny little wrists, and I'm thinking, dude, if that woman were to get into a fight with somebody like, say, your size, there's no way that woman would be able to like knock you out. It just doesn't exist, man.
It's true, and that's true, right?
So I think jiu-jitsu is better.
Jiu-jitsu is better, and to each his own. I think a lot of people have affinities for different arts because they just like them.
Yeah.
Or they're, you know, body mechanics work well for Muay Thai versus grappling. But jiu-jitsu, I think, should be a base for everybody. Wrestling should be a base for every athlete.
Definitely.
Right? Plus jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So I teach my wife self-defense jiu-jitsu, and she has this weird thing where she's always like doing ninja attacks on me. So like if we're walking around the house, she'll just pop out of nowhere and try to choke the shit out of me. And I'm like, it's so weird and crazy, but just making sure she knows how to do the move.
At least.
You know?
At least a rear naked choke.
Right. Making sure she still knows how to do the move. But if she can catch me slipping, and sinking in pretty tight, then I
Mhm.
know she knows it.
Yep.
So things like that. So she may not get on the map, but I still teach her things from time to time.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
So like we were talking about it before, man. So honestly, what are your aspirations? I mean, do you want to be a world champion, or you just want to just keep training?
Yeah, so I think I've shared this with my team members.
Mhm.
I want to be a world-class competitor,
Yeah.
and I want to eventually open up my own gym.
That's awesome, man.
And just waiting for the right timing and waiting for the reason why.
Yeah.
It has to be not just a business decision. You gotta love it. And at
Mhm.
the same time, make sure it's the right time. I mean, coaching is awesome. Being able to coach class and see that light bulb go off in students' head, like, oh, this is how I do this.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. That's a
You
great
know,
feeling.
It's an awesome feeling.
Mhm.
Seeing someone with low self-esteem, building them up to having
Mhm.
confidence and the ability to speak up for themselves.
Mhm.
Like watching that journey and growth and just young men and women, being able to teach them, that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me feel like I've done good as a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, man. That's what I want for Elijah, man.
Yeah.
I want him just to focus on jiu-jitsu because, I mean, I want him to be a world champion.
Yeah.
But, and I was actually doing the same thing, man. I was actually thinking about opening up a school, and then this COVID thing hit, and I'm like,
Jeez.
Jesus, this may not be a good idea to start a
man.
school, man.
Like I just stopped coaching. I used to teach at Tsunami
Mhm.
up in Johns Creek. I was there for about 5 to 6 months,
Mhm.
just to teach,
Yeah.
helping people out. And then once that ended, it was a temporary assignment,
Yeah.
just helping out.
Mhm.
Once that ended, I'm like, well, these guys over here just opened a gym. These guys over here just opened the
Yeah.
These guys over here just opened a gym. I'm like, God, did I just miss my opportunity?
Yeah.
But it wasn't my time, So I don't think that, this is my personal belief, I don't think that I should open a gym without having my black belt
Yeah.
or having any like firm, awesome ass wins under my belt.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just me. I want to be able to say that I'm a world class athlete and
Yeah.
also able to teach the same level that I compete.
Yeah.
Because some people you don't have a person that always has both a good business partner,
Yeah.
a good athlete, like
Mhm.
top class, and able to teach.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get one or two of those.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I'm trying to work, me personally, on mastering all three aspects.
Yeah.
Business, accolades versus tournaments and championships, and then also coaching.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm no expert, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just got my blue belt. I was thinking about it just as a businessman and basically having Elijah as kind of like the face of the school.
Yeah.
Because, he's 25 years old and he's an animal. You've trained with Elijah.
Yeah.
You at least train with him.
Yeah.
I told Humberto, I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting Elijah's time, and it's like, listen, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna train with do the old man jiu-jitsu. Don't waste your time. Go train with the animals that you train with.
Yeah. Elijah's awesome, man. His work ethic and his ability to work on a move until he's mastered it.
Mhm.
The bolo is one of Elijah's signature moves.
Yeah.
And it's not just something that you're like, oh, well, that's a cool move you did at a tournament. No, the amount of time that young man puts into his craft is commendable. So
Yeah. No, man. He's amazing. But I was just looking at it, like I said, as a businessman. I was like, man, this is a great time, and I was actually looking for a spot. Obviously, he would still train under, Roberto Traver, and I mean that would not change.
Yeah.
I was just gonna be like, basically the investor, and I would put in the money and put in the site, and he would still train because that's his life. I mean, that's what he's shooting for. He wants to be world class.
Right.
So I was just like I said, man. Maybe I'm just a greedy businessman. I was thinking about it like that.
Hey, man. Like I said before, it's good to have people to support, and if we were ourselves and could talk to ourselves 20 years ago, it'd be awesome. You're doing that for Elijah. You're doing that for your son, and that's awesome, man. And having the support to be able to build a business around him, I think it's a great idea. Just the right time, it'll happen.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I said, it's now with the COVID-19, man. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I went to Atlanta, and the waiters and waitresses are all wearing the mask. I feel like they just had a baby or gave birth to a baby, and now they're serving food. It's just so strange, man.
Yeah, it is weird, and it's gonna be like this for. I mean, psychologically, people are still gonna be dealing with this even after the pandemic is over.
I agree.
Think about working from home. Before 10 years ago, it was like somewhat taboo to just ask your company to like, hey, can I work from home? Now it's becoming more socially acceptable because of the times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after this, you'll see an increase in people doing webinars, increase in
Zoom and all that stuff.
Zoom and people working from home even after this is done.
Dude, Amazon, they said they hired over 100,000 employees because everything's online now,
Yeah, but think about the companies that don't have online platforms. My wife was wanting to get something from at home, and she's like, "Oh crap, the store's closed." I'm like, "Babe, that's not an essential business."
Yeah.
Like they're still closed.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Why don't they have an online service?" Some companies just aren't set up that way. But immediately after this, I think everybody's gonna hop on the online bus.
I think it's great for the entrepreneurs. To me, it just scares me with and dude, I'm not. I'm so dependent now on my phone. It's ridiculous. I'm sure you live on your phone. I live on my phone. My business, I do a lot of stuff with my phone for my business. Most of the stuff I put on social media has to do with my business. So I just don't want us to get away from being friggin' human beings, man.
It's coming. I mean, it's coming. Like, I'm a sci-fi geek to I like all that stuff is gonna eventually happen. I wish we would have flying cars by now. It's not here.
Yeah.
But you guys got the hoverboard, so I guess that's
we're getting there. We're trying to.
Yeah, but even automated cars. Like all that stuff's eventually gonna come in due time. It's just being cautious is always good, but sometimes being too resistant to change will put us too far back. Sometimes we need to be able to acknowledge that new things have issues and find ways to work around them. Because cell phones, I remember when we had pagers.
Yeah.
If you couldn't hit me on my pager or my house phone, you weren't gonna find me.
Yeah.
But think of how accessible we are now.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, we need to acknowledge the pros and cons of technology and how awkward people can be when they're on the elevator and just.
Oh man, it's ridiculous, man.
Is your neck all right? Hey, how's it going?
Or people walking. They're walking.
It's hey, you can just get robbed by just looking at your phone. They're like, why are you looking at your phone? It's dark as shit outside, and you can't see behind each car. I mean, just people not making good decisions, or just walking out in the middle of traffic, face down, and getting hit by a car.
Yeah. Well, dude, check this out, man. Yeah. People wearing masks. I have cameras at my shop, and somebody came in the other day. 2 guys came in with masks on. Now, earlier, before all this happened, you'd be like, yeah, these guys are trying to rob us. Now, it's like you think it's normal. But what if it isn't normal, and those guys are actually going to rob you?
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've never experienced, and I'll guarantee you, dude, you being an engineer, you can probably understand this. We are actually going to have people are going to get robbed because people are going to approach your home, and they're going to have masks on. You're going to be like, oh yeah, they just got their mask on because they got the COVID. But no, they're literally, they're coming into your house to rob you.
Yeah, this is true.
Right?
And that happens. I mean, I'm not going to, that's happening.
Yeah, and it's going to happen. We're going to have stories like that.
And it's so crazy because different people handle it different ways.
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago I was overseas in Shenzhen and Shanghai, they were still wearing masks because of the pollution.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was normal for someone to have a mask on at the airport, you know?
Well, we always looked at people like they were crazy when they were here in the States. I was like, what the hell's going on? But now it's like, oh yeah, it's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. So, you know, I hope people aren't using this as a way to just, you know, cover their face and do crime, but you're always going to have those dirtbags that, you know, take the situation and try to...
Of course, take advantage of it, you know? It just surprised me because none of my employees, they were like, no, it's no big deal. And it's like, it could be.
Yeah, you need to always keep your head on the swivel and make sure that you're...
There you go, man. You said it. Yeah. Maybe I'm just paranoid.
No.
Nature, man.
It's good to be aware. You know? You know, it's always good to be aware of your surroundings, man.
So Rodney, so how can people get a hold of you?
I mean, you can hit me up on Instagram at me not you, and then Facebook Rodney Wells BJJ. You know, if you want me to come train with you, or you know, you want to just talk to me about like real life stuff, just hit me up. You know, I'm a real humble, down to earth guy. Just let me know what's up.
Do you think that police officers could use jiu-jitsu?
Police officers can always use more training, and definitely jiu-jitsu. I think no bullshit. This is what this podcast is about. I think social, like conditioning, is what's needed for certain police officers. If you're working in a certain demographic, you need to condition yourself to not always make them look like suspects. You know, I'm a decent sized African American male, and some people can say that I'm a scary motherfucker. But if you didn't know me and you're prejudging me based on those preconceived notions, like I'm a nice ass guy. You know?
No, man. I mean, listen, man. If I saw you walking down the street, I would look. But I mean, I would look at really just about anybody. You know, like I'm always going to be sizing you up. You know, like I mean, if you're a man, at least, you know what I'm saying? If I saw you walking down, coming up to me, I would definitely pay attention. I wouldn't just be like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's what I said. Always keeping your head on the swivel in a way of situation. But not always just jumping at conclusions.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, that's the guy right there.
Of course.
You know? So,
of course.
Definitely jiu-jitsu is needed. I think more training. You know, there are some people out there that promote free or discounted law enforcement. We got a lot of Leos that train jiu-jitsu. Especially at Chamblee. And I'm always giving those guys a pound on the back, like, hey man, thanks. You know, thanks for training. Thanks for taking this serious. You know?
Well, like I said, it was that thing, like, and I go back to that thing that happened to that young man. It's like they could have easily held that kid down. Whether and like I said, dude, I'm not gonna get into this whole like the kid that young man should not have died because they're really idiots, man. I saw the video. It's like, what's going on here, man?
But like me having a warrior's mentality, the gun is not always the way out.
No.
You know, the gun is not always the way out.
Yeah, no.
Like, if you're in
it's a last resort, Rodney.
It should be a last resort.
Yeah, man.
You should always think of it as, hey, if you really, really have to take this man's life, your life really has to be in danger, or someone that you love has to be in danger, you should be able to defend yourself with these two things. And the fact that, you know, we have certain people or certain people in positions that always
go, that's it first.
Oh, this is
because they think that's all they need. It's like, dude, that's the last thing that you should be thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we didn't know if you had a gun. Well, look here, if you're chasing someone down, if you're looking for trouble, you're gonna find what you're looking for. You know? So I just really think that, you know, people just need to be aware of what they're doing and just get proper training. Like, I mean, I own a gun, you know, but I don't walk around it with it all the time. You know, it's not like one of those things that I'm like, yep, going to the grocery store, gotta have a piece. Because at the end of the day, I'm confident in my abilities as a man. We talk about You know, being a man and what man need to have, you need to be able to hold your own.
Exactly.
When I teach, if and when I have my child, I'm gonna teach them how to hold their own, not to be, you know, using something as a crutch to show how tough they are, you know. And I think having that ability, having that confidence, is something that jiu-jitsu and wrestling taught me. And I think that everybody should train.
Yeah, and listen, man, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be an armchair quarterback, but at the end of the day, what those guys should have done is they probably just should have followed that guy. If he did something wrong, if he did something wrong, they didn't have to get out of the truck and, like I said, shoot this guy. I carry all the time.
Yeah.
I carry all the time. And I've only pulled my gun out once, and it was exactly that, man. I saw these two, I was in the Army, I saw these two. They looked like they were Asian dudes, and they were drunk, and they were just acting like strange. Like there was something about it, and they were walking, they were kicking, they were being belligerent, man. They were just doing stuff that I was like, there's something wrong. So, dude, I picked up my phone, I called the police, and I just followed them. I followed them. I passed them because I wanted to make a Yui.
Yeah.
Just so I could check them out, and they were not coming. So I was like, dude, what's going on? So I drove back. I went towards them, and they were literally attacking this man. And he happened to be a black man, not from the States. He was African, like straight from Africa.
Yeah.
And they were beating the shit out of him, like just straight beating the shit out of him. And I told him, hey, dude, fucking, you know, I told him to stop. They just kept beating on this man. So I parked my truck, took my gun out, I charged it, and I held him at gunpoint, and I waited for the police to get there. But the whole time this stuff was happening, man, I was thinking, man, I don't want these guys to get up because I'm gonna have to shoot them, man. And that's what really, like, it scared me. I'm like, if these guys get up, I'm gonna have to shoot them. But that is the only time, and I've been a gun owner for what, 10, 12, whatever. Thankfully they didn't, and everything all right. And everything was fine. But that black man that was walking, he was just walking. Imagine, this guy's just walking, man. He's like an immigrant, straight from Africa, minding his own business. Just getting attacked for no reason, man.
Yeah.
For no reason. He was getting jumped by two dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, that just really hurt me because it's like, dude, he wasn't bothering anybody. He wasn't doing anything. And that to me, it just really... I don't know, man. It just like really woke me up to violence, man. Just like that kind of violence.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean it's deep, and at the end of the day, we have to condition ourselves to value life.
Exactly.
You know, we all have different backgrounds and different reasons why we do certain things, but life should be at the forefront. We shouldn't want to automatically take someone's life. We should want to defend someone's life, like you did.
Yeah, man. We should value life, man.
Value life a little bit more, man, and let people do their jobs. I think at the end of the day, if those gentlemen would have just let the police do their jobs, things would have been handled.
Exactly. Well, that's why I wanted to bring that up to you, man, because I saw that, and I know that it really, it really hurt you on like social media. Like I could tell, man, this is messed up, and I saw it, and it really bothered me because, I think about it the same way. It's like, dude, you just killed a young man for nothing, man. Like, for nothing. Like, dude, I've made plenty of mistakes in my life, man, but that didn't mean I had to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's just like the system, man. The system is not made for everyone, and people don't value everyone's life equally.
Yeah.
And it's not something that will change overnight. It's not something that will change in 20 years.
Yeah.
That's going to take more time. And that's sad to say because there's a lot of people that just don't give a fuck. So we just need to all understand a little bit more about each other. And with jiu-jitsu, you got a whole different group of people that you've never met before.
Yeah.
Doctors, lawyers, technicians, engineers, service workers. Like, you get a multitude of different people from different backgrounds. And none of that matters at the end of the day when you're on the mats. But you learn a little bit about each other through that camaraderie during that training. It's like, hey man, what do you like to eat? Oh, whoa, you eat that too?
Yeah.
Hey man, what do you do in your free time? Oh, you do that too?
Mm-hmm.
And you start to understand a little bit about each other and get a respect for a different point of view.
Yeah.
And you know, I got some friends that I train with, and they're like, "Hey, Rod, I wanted to ask you about something." And I'm like, "Oh, this is my viewpoint. Not everybody's viewpoint. This is what I think."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. I never thought it from that perspective.
Yeah.
So.
No, dude, I'm like right in the middle, man. I don't like. I'm not to the left. I'm not to the right. I mean, I try to listen to everybody's point of view. Me being abroad, I think I just have a totally different perspective. And like I said, man, when I was in the Army, I worked with all sorts of dudes. I mean, all sorts of races. And man, I'm telling you, man, that was never really brought up, man. It just didn't matter. And like I said, I see it in the jiu-jitsu community that it's the same way. Why is that? It's because we all respect each other, and that's what we need to start doing is we need to respect each other. And dude, we're fucking Americans, man. Jesus Christ. Like, I just want people to really realize that. It's like, dude, like I said, I guess I could call myself an amateur historian, man. This is your country, man. You're a black man in America. This is your country.
Yeah, it is.
Okay? Your people have paid a heavy price.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're not Rodney African American. I look at you as Rodney an American.
Yeah.
And our country would not be the same without people like yourself. And I want you to, for me, dude, I wasn't born here. I got my citizenship in Afghanistan. So I only can go by my references.
Yeah.
I fucking, dude, I love this country because it's been good to me, and I just want to, look at all the positive things that we have in our country, and not look at what we're looking at in the media all the time. They're trying to, divide us, man.
It's just a lot of trash in there. You gotta watch what you consume.
Yeah.
Hey, if you eat a lot of shit, your body's gonna be shit. And if you have a lot of garbage going into your mind's gonna be garbage. So I mean, you just gotta be careful with all the news out there. Everything that you see on Facebook and social media, it's not always good for you. So just be careful.
All right, guys. So we're right at an hour with Rodney. Rodney, what before we sign off? What would you like to say? Whatever you want to say about, obviously why we did the podcast. What do you want to say about jiu-jitsu? Whatever you want.
Yeah, definitely. Jiu-jitsu is important for people who are looking for that outlet. I think as men, we need to be able to, get some things off our chest and be able to express ourselves without feeling judged. And jiu-jitsu allows that for you. And I think that everyone should train. You don't have to train like 5 days a week. I mean, I train about that time, like 5 days a week, but you don't have to do that.
You're a savage, man.
Yeah, you can be a regular average Joe Smo from 5 to 65, even 80. We have a lot of people that train from different ages and different backgrounds, so jiu-jitsu definitely changes lives, and it changed my life too. So.
All right, man. Well, I wanted to, thank you so much. I really wanted to hear your, your perspective, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show. So, man, if you can share this with everybody, because I'm trying to basically I'm trying to do 2 interviews a week.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've been doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, guys, because obviously I'm around the community all the time, and listen, man, the only reason I know you is because of my son.
Yeah.
The only reason I know Brent is because of all you guys. So that kind of goes to show you how awesome it is to be part of this community. Even though, dude, I'm not an animal like this guy or like my son. I train, twice a week. But man, I definitely appreciate the community, and I definitely see there's so many different people, man.
Yeah, man, a lot of different people, and you're gonna have more people on your podcast, and you're gonna hear different views. And I think it's awesome that you're able to have that outlet for regular guys like us that are doing jiu-jitsu. We're not famous, but people need to know that, hey man, there's real people out there too that are just out there figuring it out.
Exactly, and that's why I started the podcast, because like I told you offline, it was like I see a lot of these manosphere things where they're trying to portray like they know what they're talking about and trying to guide these young men, and they just give them a bunch of friggin' nonsense, man. Like one of them actually was talking about that if you're going to do any kind of martial arts, they should do Krav Maga, they shouldn't do Jiu-Jitsu, they shouldn't do anything but Krav Maga, and then I come to find out the guy's only been doing it for a month. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Like, what in the hell are you talking about? And then he's talking about this other guy. Well, this guy that I know, he's a world champion kickboxer, and he says that jiu-jitsu it's not worth it. It's not good for a street fight. I'm like, well, that guy, he doesn't know anything, because I'll guarantee you that if that guy's a kickboxer and only a kickboxer, dude, that guy could go to Atlanta and that guy will get stomped by a freaking blue belt.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So, like, the real practitioners, like, you have real practitioners out there that, let's say, they're like an elite Thai boxer, they would never say anything negative about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
I know. Professionals don't, you got some martial arts that are just off the wall. Especially the no-touch stuff. We're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah. Bullshit.
But you got professional athletes that know that some other martial arts have good parts to them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a well-rounded athlete or MMA fighter, you know that some martial arts have benefits. And I'm saying jiu-jitsu has a lot of benefit for people that want to have confidence and self-discipline and self-defense and stuff of that nature. Like, it's a good base to have.
Mm-hmm.
You should always be able to base yourself in your journey of martial arts with some grappling sport. And jiu-jitsu, wrestling is a good base. Yeah.
Exactly. So like I said, when this guy said that, I was like, man, that's just so irresponsible to say that, because you have young men that are like, oh yeah, I'm going to take Krav Maga. I'm not shitting on Krav Maga. I'm just saying my experiences. Yeah. I'm like, dude, there's a reason why in MMA it's like the guys know, okay, they're strikers, but they're either wrestlers. They definitely know some jiu-jitsu, right?
Definitely know some jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Yeah, so imagine this guy. Yeah. This guy's already intimidating. Yeah. You don't want to mess with a guy this big, and he knows jiu-jitsu. I mean, you're going to get your ass kicked.
And then you got to understand, everybody's trying to push their stuff because, hey, man, it's a business at the end of the day, too, right? They're like, oh, I can't lose my students to jiu-jitsu, then everybody's gonna know jiu-jitsu's the truth, and I'm not gonna have any more students. So some of those people do things in fear, and they're like, oh, I gotta push them down. I gotta make sure that everybody knows that jiu-jitsu is crap. No, dude, it's okay to say something is okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to always be negative. Like, hey, all right, it's okay.
Yeah. So there you go, guys, from the man himself, Rodney Wells. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. So that's it. We're going to be doing a lot more interviews, and we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, definitely, anytime, man.
So we're gonna continue to get a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, because like I said, you guys need to know this information, not from me, not from an old man like myself, but from the guys that are just getting after it all the time. I mean, these guys are just, dude, absolute savages. I mean, you're doing it 5 times a week?
Trying, man, trying.
Yeah, this guy's disgusting. He's an animal, huh? But, hey, guys, thank you so much.
All right, peace.
This is for the old breed. Goodbye. Hey, man, thanks so much for
thanks,
being on here, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.